taong 1936, si SUS ay gumawa ng mechanical calculator na tinawag na Z1, ang kauna-unahang binary computer. Ginamit ito ni SUS sa pag-explore ng mga several groundbreaking technologies in computer development, tulad ng floating point, arithmetic, high-capacity memory, and modules or relays operating on the yes-no principle. ABC Computer. In late 1939, Jonathan Aesop teamed up with Clifford Berry to build a prototype. They created the first computing machine to use electricity, vacuum tube, binary numbers, and capacitors. Harvard Mark I Computer. Howard Aiken and Grace Hopper designed the Mark series of computers at Harvard University. The Mark series of computers began with the Mark I in 1944. The computer, controlled by punch paper tape, could carry addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and reference to previous result. ENIAC 1 computer. In 1946, John Mauchly and John Presper Eckert developed the ENIAC 1, electrical numerical integrator and calculator. The American military sponsored the research. The Army needed a computer for calculating artillery firing tables. The settings used for different weapons under varied conditions for target accuracy. Sir Frederick Williams and Tom Kilburn co-invented the Williams-Kilburn tube, or William tube, a type of actored cathode ray tube. Scientists had conducted research on cathode ray tubes, serving as computer data storage since the 1940s. John Bardeen, William Shockley, and Walter Brattain were all scientists at the Bell Telephone Laboratories in Murray Hill, New Jersey. They are all transistor inventors. A transistor is a device composed of semiconductor materials, germanium and silicon, that can conduct and insulate transistor, switch, and modulate electronic current.
UNIVAC computer. The UNIVAC inventors are John Mauchly and John Presper Eckert. The UNIVAC computer was used to predict the result of the Eisenhower-Stevenson presidential race, first commercial computer and able to pick presidential winners. IBM 701 EDPM computer. The 1953 built 701 had electrostatic storage tube, used magnetic tape to store information, and had binary, fixed point, single address hardware. The speed of the 701 computer was limited by the speed of its memory. The processing unit in the machines were about 10 times faster than the core memory. The 701 also led to the development of the programming language Fortran. Fortran. The invention of Fortran began $24 million computer software industry and began the development of high-level programming languages. Fortran has been used for programming video games, air traffic control system, pair calculation, numerous scientific and military applications, and parallel computer research. IRMA and MICR. The first bank industry computer, also MICR, Magic Ink character recognition for reading checks. During 1950s, researchers at the Stanford Research Institute invented the IRMA, the electronic recording method of accounting computer processing system. IRMA was first demonstrated to the public in 1995 and the first tested on real banking accounts in the fall of 1956. Integrated circuit. It seems that the integrated circuit was destined to be invented. Jack Kilby and Robert Noyce invented the chip or the integrated circuit. These two separate inventors, unaware of each other's activities, invented almost identical integrated circuits or ICs at nearly the same time. Space War. This is the first invented computer machine. This PDP, first operating system, it was the first to allow multiple users to share the computer simultaneously. This was perfect for playing Space War, which was a two-player game involving warring spaceships firing photon torpedoes.
The mouse of Douglas Engelbart. In 1964, the first prototype of computer mouse was made to use with a graphical user interface or GUI windows. The original mouse had a cord in the front but quickly moved it back and to get it out of the way.
ARPANET 1969, the original Internet network. The deployment of the ARPANET set in motion a train of developments that lead to the Internet as we know it today. 1970 Intel 1103 computer memory. In 1970, the newly formed Intel company publicly released the 1103, the first DRAM, Dynamic Random Access Memory Chip, 1-bit PMOS Dynamic RAM ICs, and by 1972, it was the best-selling semiconductor memory chip in the world. Defeating magnetic core-type memory, the first commercially available computer using the 1103 was the HP 9800 series. Intel 4004 computer microprocessor. In November 1971, a company called Intel publicly introduced the world's first single-chip microprocessor. The Intel 4004, invented by Intel engineers Federico Fajan, Ted Hope, and Stanley Mazur, after the invention of integrated circuit, revolutionized computer design. The Intel 4004 chip took the integrated circuit down one step further by placing all the parts that made a computer think. Floppy disk. A floppy disk or diskette is a disk storage medium composed of a disk of thin and flexible magnetic storage medium, sealed in a rectangular plastic carrier lined with fabric that removes dust particles. They are read and written by a floppy disk drive. Floppy disk initially as 8-inch 200mm media and later in 5.25-inch 133mm and 3.5-inch 90mm sizes were abused to form of data storage and exchange from the mid-1970s well into the first decade of the 21st century. The nickname floppy came from the disk's flexibility. The floppy disk was considered a revolutionary device in the history of computer for its portability, which provided a new and easy physical means of transporting data and computer to computer. Ethernet. Ethernet is a system for connecting computers within a building using hardware running from a machine. Robert Metcalfe left Xerox in 1979 to promote the use of personal computers and local area networks or LANs. He successfully convinced Digital Equipment, Intel, and Xerox Corporation to work together to promote Ethernet as a standard to machine. It differs from the Internet, which connect remotely located computers by telephone line, software, protocol, and some hardware. Ethernet uses some softwares borrowed from Internet protocol, but the connecting hardware was basis of the patent, involving newly designed chips and wiring. The patent described Ethernet as multi-point data communication system with collision detection. Apple I. On April Fool's Day 1976, Steve Wozniak and Steve Jobs released the Apple I computer and started Apple Computers. The Apple I was the first single-circuit board computer. It came with a video interface, 8K of RAM, and a keyboard. In 1977, Apple Computer was imported and the Apple II computer model was released. The first West Coast computer fair was held in San Francisco the same year. The attendees saw the public debut of the Apple II. The Apple II was also based on the 6502 processor, but it had a color graphics and used an audio cassette drive for storage. Its original configuration came with 4 gig of RAM, but a year later this was increased to 48 gig of RAM and the cassette drive was replaced by a floppy disk drive. VisiCalc. It was first computer spreadsheet program. It was released to the public in 1979, running on Apple II computer. While most early microprocessor computers had been quickly supported by BASIC and a few games, VisiCalc introduced a new level in application software. It was considered a fourth-generation software program. WordStar. It was released in 1979 by MicroPro International. WordStar was the first commercially successful word processing software program, produced microcomputer, and the best-selling software program of early 80s. IBM PC Home Computer. From an Acorn grows a personal computer revolution. In July of 1980, IBM representatives met for the first time with the Microsoft Bill Gates to talk about writing an operating system for IBM's new personal computer. MS-DOS computer operating system. Its from quick and dirty comes from the operating system of the century. On August 12, 1981, IBM introduced its new revolution in a box. The personal computer complete a brand new operating system from Microsoft. 16-bit computer operating system called MS-DOS operating system. Apple Lisa computer, the first home computer with a geographical user interface. Other innovative features for the personal market included a drop-down menu bar, windows, multiple tasking, a hierarchical file system, the ability to copy and paste icons, folders, and a mouse. Apple Macintosh computer. It was more affordable home computer with a GUI. In December 1983, Apple Computer ran its famous 1984 Macintosh television commercial on a small unknown station solely to make the commercial eligible for awards during 1984. Microsoft. On November 10, 1983, at the Plaza Hotel in New York City, Microsoft Corporation formally announced Microsoft Windows, a next-generation operating system that would provide a graphical user interface and a multi-tasking environment for IBM computers.
A laptop is a portable personal computer with a clamshell form factor suitable for mobile use. A laptop has most of the same components as a desktop computer, including a display, a keyboard, a pointing device such as touchpad, and a pointing stick and speakers into a single unit. Other terms, such as ultrabooks or netbooks, refer to specific types of laptop. Most of the modern-day laptop computers also have a webcam and a mic installed. Windows 7 is an operating system produced by Microsoft for use on personal computers, including home and business desktops, laptops, netbooks, tablet PCs, and media center PCs. It was released to manufacturing on July 22, 2009 and became generally available for retail worldwide on October 22, 2009. Less than 3 years after the release of its predecessors, Windows Vista, Windows 7 Server counterpart, Windows Server 2008 R2, was released at the same time. Windows 7 is succeeded by Windows 8. A tablet computer, or simply tablet, is a one-piece mobile computer. Devices typically have a touchscreen, with a finger or stylus gestures replacing the conventional computer mouse. A on-screen, hideable virtual keyboard is usually used for typing. Tablets differentiate themselves by being larger than smartphones or personal digital assistant. They are usually 7 inches or larger, measured diagonally. Windows 8 is a version of Microsoft Windows for use on personal computers, including home and business desktops, laptops, tablets, and home theater PCs. Development of Windows 8 started before the release of its predecessor, Windows 7, in 2009. It was announced at CES 2011 and followed by the release of 3 pre-release versions from September 2011 to May 2012. The operating system was released to manufacturing on August 1, 2012 and was released for general availability on October 26, 2012.
At dito nagtatapos ang aming trivia. Sana nakapagbigay kami ng kaunting kalaman para sa inyo at kaunting paalala. Think before you click.
Is this thing on? Word. So what, we get drunk. So what, we smoke weed. We're just having fun. We don't care who sees. So what, we go out.
Hey, let me get a lighter,
That's how it's
please.
supposed to be.
Cause you know I'm high as fuck and I forgot one. Keep that in there. So what? I keep them rolled up, sagging my pants, not caring.